I think there are three reasons why the 2024 monsoons are more important than usual. First, we are starting on a not a very strong footing, if I may say so. Last year was an El Nino year, which is usually associated with drier weather. And to that effect, last year we got monsoons rainfall less than 6% than the historical trend. As a result, the overall crop output fell by 6%. The reservoir levels, as we all know, are low today. Hence, a revival in monsoon is needed, not only from an economic perspective, it's needed in general. So that's the first reason why monsoons are important. Secondly, if we are focused on rate cuts, we all want rate cuts. It will be contingent on how the monsoons perform. Food inflation is important for India. It has a weight of 45% in the CPI basket, and that has been running at an average of 7% for last 12 months. So if rate cuts have to come forth, then monsoon performance will be extremely critical. Last but not the least, monsoons are extremely important when we are looking at the economic growth story or economic outlook of India. Almost 50% of India's household demand is generated in rural India. And rural India's dependency on monsoon is well known. 45% of the labor force is dependent on the agricultural sector. If you look at a typical agricultural household, almost 40% of the income is generated because they sell agri-produce. And if the rains are not good, produce falls and their income generation falls. So if we're talking about consumption revival, better growth rates over the next 12 months, monsoon revival will be extremely, extremely critical. Very encouraging, extremely encouraging. Just a week back, monsoon deficit was close to 20%. Today, it is just 4 or 5%. That's a massive improvement. And it's not only at a headline level. If we look across regions, monsoon deficiency is improving with each passing day. Till a week back, almost only 1/5 of the total districts had normal monsoons. Today, it is 1/3. You look at northwest region of the country, which accounts for almost 35% of the total agricultural produce. It has seen a significant improvement in a monsoon deficiency. It used to be 50%, today it is just 20%. So extremely encouraging signs. But I think it's too early to jump to a conclusion that all is good. We need to see how the distribution plays out over the remainder of the monsoon months. We still have 3 more months to go. Equally important to see is if monsoon rains intensifies a lot in a very short period of time, it can create disruptions. If you look at the IMD's forecast, they have attached 43% probability of a normal monsoon, that is rains in line with historical trends. But they're also attaching a 40% probability of excess rains. There is a risk of flooding. So I think as of now, the signs are very encouraging, but we will have to keep a close eye on how the distribution plays out over next, 3 months. Again, I'll break it down, 3 things here. First is this distribution, how the rainfall is in various regions, districts, and in what time frame we get that precipitation. If it happens in a very short period of time, it creates its own set of distortions. So first is the distribution. Second, I would be extremely focused on how the monsoons perform, especially in the rice growing states or areas, because rice is a staple crop for our country, and almost 70% of the summer crop is due to rice production. Right now, there is still rain deficiency. So how it plays out will be important, both from income perspective, but also from the inflation perspective. Rice inflation, despite good stocks, has been running at 12% for last 12 months. So if rice inflation has to come off and inflation has to come off, then rice crop has to be good. Last but not the least, the reservoir levels. Water reservoir levels today are not at a very healthy level. That has to improve because we have to also think about the winter crop. If reservoir levels are good, it bodes well for the winter crop, which would happen during December to March period. I think so. The probability will definitely increase. Right now, our view is that there can be a rate cut of 50 basis points, assuming normal monsoon and assuming food inflation starts coming off. And if that plays out, then inflation is likely to average at 4.5% and should give the Monetary Policy Committee room to cut rates later this year. However, the rate cutting cycle, in our view, is likely to be a shallow one. We are not talking about any more rate cuts next year or the year after. For a very simple reason, growth is expected to be relatively good in India. The Monetary Policy Committee is also focused on real rates, and as of now, the stated preferred real rate is closer to 100 basis points. It can be reviewed. We'll have to see. If that's the case, and if our view is that the medium term or equilibrium level of inflation in India is closer to 5 rather than 4, then rate cuts are likely to be shallower. The other point would also be around financial stability. The Reserve Bank of India is extremely focused on ensuring that credit flow is to the right sector, to the productive sector, and to that extent, they are unlikely to cut rates a lot to ensure that the overall health of the banking sector remains good. So yes, we can see more rate cuts coming forth if monsoons are normal, but it will be a very shallow rate cutting cycle in our view this year as well as next.